will be damned for this. Your wretched soul will burn in hell.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff from Hatred Reigns. I'm the guitarist and founding member.
Hi, I'm Mitchy Dimitriadis. I'm the vocalist and mixing engineer for Hatred Reigns.
For me, I just like being creative. The outlet to be able to compose music, the freedoms within metal to do anything. Extreme metal has you can have clean music, you can have as brutal as you want, you can have slam, you can have grind. I just love the freedom of anything technical elements being added.
I find music is one of the strongest mediums to actually convey a message and actually embed it in the listener. So I would say one of my most driving factors for music is to actually spread a positive message.
The band name, Hatred Reigns, wasn't a simple name to come to. Choosing a band name, honestly, is one of the most challenging things. Finding a band name that's available, that epitomizes and represents kind of the ideas and visions that I want to create. The day that it came to me, I was actually listening to Hate, and I was looking at the Rain and Blood Slayer album cover, and it just clicked. Hatred Reigns was formed, was available. That's one of the key things for me when I'm looking for a band name, that there wasn't a pre-existing band, and it met the criteria that I was looking for. Super happy to be working with a band under that moniker.
So it's an 8-track album, and it's called Awaken The Ancients.
What did we do different?
So for one, it was completely DIY. We just self-recorded here in this unfinished basement, the glorified home studio. A little minor detail without wasting an established producer's time. We did the guitars through the Helix. Adam used his Dingwall for bass. We used an SM7B for vocals. Yeah, no, it was definitely quite the process for sure, but great things don't come easy. We've definitely evolved from the band's sound before I've joined. I've actually replaced their original member. I find the group now has a much different sound than it did before.
Bands evolved. Like many bands, Hatred Reigns certainly has gone through different lineups, but this lineup, I think, solidifies the direction, the vision, and we're able to achieve the desired result that Mitch has definitely been a part of to bring that delight, which you guys can now enjoy with their album, Awaken the Ancients. Realistically, I don't like just penning lyrics that are just ad hoc. I like a concept album. And this album concept actually started before I even had the band name. And for me, I like to explore John Milton's Paradise Lost. Dante's Inferno were definitely references. But for me, what really brought it together is the film, not the book, What Dreams May Come. The protagonist and the concept of what happens to a damned soul. What do they experience on the journey? And that's what I explored with this, but I left the ending open-ended, so we don't define what happens to the damned soul when they get to purgatory. That's open-ended for the listener to come to their own interpretations. Artwork for me represents Song 9 in that now the damned soul is at purgatory. They're being judged. And what is happening to the soul? Well, in my mind, there's 4 different opportunities. They could be trapped in purgatory. They could be judged and sent to hell. They could ascend to heaven. Or the 4th possibility, which may or may not be possible and may be true, but reincarnation. And I think the album artwork that Pedro Cita, or Lord Again, really defined that with all the landscapes and the depths and the details and the colors, as you guys are going to see for yourselves. I think he really did hit it out of the park. There's so much detail. If you zoom in on parts, you're going to see damn souls down in these little crevices and all these different places that, to me, I'm excited just to have something of such depth and unique color that just appeals to the eye when you examine the artwork for yourselves.
I'm a huge fan of Zenith Passage's Datalicium.
Yeah, it's great.
Darko US from Tom Barber is the vocalist for Chelsea Grin.
Okay.
Probably, very amazing, fresh new releases. Disembodied Tyrant are also pretty good. I guess I would say Cause and Effect is one of the albums that definitely caught my attention. I realized it was a barrage of all my favorite influences, and it was very fresh to finally see a band finally do something of that caliber, because I almost thought that that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, the founder for that project also released Invertebrated. I have nothing but great things to say for that as well. Extremely brutal, technical death metal band.
For me, the releases that speak to me is the Gorod album. I think the Orb is a phenomenal album. You hit on the Zenith Passage, which is definitely getting lots of praise this year. The New Dying Fetus, it's a hard, heavy hitter, but the album that I'm most looking forward to is the new Suffocation. I'm excited about it. This guy's actually been privy to listen to it through his contacts, but I've not been had the luxury to check it out. So that's the album that I'm really looking forward to. And then I definitely really recommend check out my buddy's band Insight. And I'm really looking forward to that. So that's this guy's band. Isn't one of his other projects, but definitely dig that and check it out for sure. Mitch and I might have differences of opinions on that, but I started here in 2008. Ottawa has grown. It's had ebbed and flowed. We have a lot of bands that have some major talent here, and that talent has also been taken and are playing in bands like Annihilator, are playing in First Fragment, playing in a band Soen, and then the Mighty Suffocation, who I hail a lot. We're very privileged to have a lot of amazing talent here in Ottawa, but not only that, our own scene, the own bands, like many scenes, the talented artists are playing in multiple bands. Mitch can attest to that. Our drummer plays in another band. Our bassist in the band play in multiple bands. So unfortunately, we are hit with that we don't have an abundance of available talent to play, in one or two bands. But I still am really proud of what Ottawa has to do to contribute metal-wise. Considering Montreal is 2.5 hours away, the mecca of metal in Canada, then you got Vancouver on the West Coast. But in between, you have all kinds of talented bands, and I think Ottawa is developing its own scene. Like, what's your take on the metal scene, Mitch?
Well, over here, the local scene here in Ottawa specifically, I think is actually rather stale, and it's a bit too tribal. People don't show as much support to each other as much as they really.
I wish they would. Yeah,
they really don't and there's not really much money in it as well either. Like, either the band has to come with their own proceedings to create their own hype train, or else people aren't really attracted to it. They don't really support as much over here.
I think that's anywhere, to be quite honest. Local bands have to fend for themselves and push for themselves and build your own fan base. There's not a lot of support collectively, but I definitely encourage it. Definitely get the audiences, young or old, support the metal. Be there. Be out there. Make your presence known. And if you're a young talent, definitely make yourself known. Find some mates and create your own music. Passing the torch is so important to me, and it's awesome to see. We have a band, Corpse Pit, which I think are awesome here for the scene, to show that there's younger metal that is coming up, instead of just being the older lads who have been doing this, or the other generations that are in between who are pushing the envelope. But like Mitch says, local scenes, they suffer because we don't really get the promotion that we wish we could and get the opportunities. But at the same time, we'd certainly love opening for major bands that come through cities.
I just feel like promoters here and bands are trying to do the best with what they have available. But when you go out more west, or when you go to the States, or when you go to Europe, you realize that there's a much bigger support for these metal bands. And like, just the fact that you're a band coming from a different place in the world, that already will sell out tickets. Yeah. Whereas over here, you don't really get that much of that.
Well, that's where we're landlocked between Montreal and Toronto. We definitely have that competition that drives the audience to go to the other cities for sure. I totally see your point on that one.
I definitely want to continue writing and releasing more music with this band. Every single album will be an evolution from what it was, never just sticking to the same formula. No. Because I find, again, metal these days is way too fragmented to stick to one formula and have it stick for like a very long period of time. So keep it interesting in a sonic fashion as much as possible.
Yeah, writing new music for a sophomore album is in the works, and I'm really pushing to tour more. The reality could be possible. I'd like to play off of the North American continent, come to Europe, come to Asia, go to South America, tour these places that just seem impossible to achieve, and yet they're becoming more and more accessible. And I think that would be amazing to be able to take our band and play those other places. It'd be a great achievement if we can. And then, of course, getting back to the studio as soon as we can to get another offering out there, because, every album that we have is just a great offering to be able to showcase our abilities and, as you say, evolve the music, show growth, and show our interest and our talents. So last question here is metal rules. Why does metal rule? You know, why the fuck do you play in a metal band if you don't like it? What's your take on this one, Mitch?
Personally, again, I find metal is like one of the genres out there that really challenges the status quo. It challenges like contemporary definitions of what music should be or what musical expression is. And initially, that was why I was gravitated towards it growing up. But now I kind of feel it's just become an echo chamber for what's already established. And if you have any varying political opinions, good luck like surviving in the industry.
Metal ebbs and flows. I think that the growth of it is important. This, for me, is the big factor, is the growth. Like for me, I was introduced to metal late 80s. My brother introduced me to Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time, a point I'll come back to. And then Neil, he introduced me to the guitar, and he brought me over to his house to show me the drum kit. And right beside, he said, "Hey man, picked it up," and it was a guitar. And that was the winter of 1989, and it changed my life. But what really changed my life was April 16th, 1989. My brother went to see a concert the night before. I woke up, and there was 2 t-shirts sitting downstairs, and it was the artwork by Pusshead for the Lady Justice shirt, and the back of the Harvester of Sorrow had the Hammer Justice with the 4 faces sketched on the hammer. And it's amazing how artwork inspired me so much, but it really truly did. Like, Neil got me into playing guitar. My brother had me listening to this amazing album, but it was this album that was just angry, hitting, just hit so many points. And Metallica's One was the main video that Much Music was pumping out. You'd see it everywhere, but it was just so influential, and it really changed the course of my life playing metal. My parents probably wished no, but fuck it. It became epitomized who I am at my soul, at my core. And I embraced metal, so much so that I was really distinctly honored this year. We played our first show in 5 years, actually, and it was awesome. My drummer and I and myself, our daughters came out to the show. It was flattering to have them at our show, first show for both of them to see us play live. And then, speaking of Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time, they just did the Future Past tour, and I was really honored to bring my daughter with me. And it's wicked to see all these people, these adults who are like, "Man, you're raising your daughter right," to bring her. And to me, again, passing the torch is important to see, to make metal, maintaining metal, even if it's sellout metal, just having people playing instruments, continuing this music to me. But I really want inspirational music. I want people, the new influencers. I want this younger generation who's going to be like the next talented musician. You're going to be like, "Oh my God, this guy's phenomenal." These young talented people out there just need an outlet just to come out, play music, get out there and develop music. To me, passing the torch, seeing younger bands coming, that's what a metal rules for me. For me, seeing still grow and evolve. Yes, you're going to get some washed out bands or some redundancy, but there's also going to be that one little like hole in the wall band. You're like, fuck, they're amazing. They set the bar. So for me, that's what I'm excited about. I'm also excited for you guys to check out Awaken the Ancients. Awaken the Ancients is available December 1st. And check out our videos. They're going to be on YouTube as well. We're Hatred Reigns. Mitch, I'm Jeff. Talk to you guys later. Rain on.